Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Oh, that's much better, much better. My name is Benita Ransom. I am the Human Resources and Merit System Director for DeKalb County, and it's always my pleasure to bring greetings to this auspicious event. So I want to welcome all the department heads, managers, supervisors, family members, and other guests to the graduation celebration of our honorees. There are 38 honorees who've completed a very stimulating program, and I would like those honorees to please stand up and let us applaud them. These honorees have completed a 10-month, very stimulating program that was coordinated by UGA, Dr. Marci Campbell from the Carl Vinson Institute and her team. So please let's give her a round of applause. When these honorees embarked on this program, they had no idea what to expect. They have learned quite a bit about what it takes to be a servant leader. Not only did UGA give them the tools to be great professionals, but they also took the opportunity to give them a general perspective of how county government operates. So these employees now have been able to develop very strong friendships and collaborations with individuals within and outside of the county. And these collaborations will result in endless opportunities for networking. I want to just also say that this program is the county's premier or elite training program. It is the way that we enhance our bench strength, because it is our belief in HR that we should find a way to develop the talent within the organization as opposed to always having to go outside to look for our professionals. And thanks to UGA, we have managed to do that. And I just want to take a moment to just highlight for you some of the advances that our graduates have accomplished. From the 2016 inaugural class, do I have any representatives? The 2016 class, there's TJ Sigler, who was a senior management analyst in the CEO's office, and now he is budget director. Then there is yes, we can clap. Then there's Tamika Murray, supervising attorney with child advocacy. And just recently, she was appointed as DeKalb County Juvenile Court Judge, effective November 1. The class of 2017, Kimberly Bullock Yananks. She is now a battalion fire chief with fire rescue. In the class of 2018, we have Adrian Harrison, who unfortunately will be leaving us, but he got a great promotion with the Arizona Fire Department to become their chief of training. So where is Adrian Harrison? And then there's Tremonda Williams, who recently was asked by DeKalb County to become the watershed lab supervisor. Is Tremonda, where's Tremonda? Well, she has it, oh, there she is. And this is just a few of just some of the highlights of the great things that have happened to these graduates. So I want to also give a shout out to Fabienne Niles and her team. Fabienne, who is the OED manager. Fabienne, please stand up, Fabienne. And her team members, Ashley Swan, Karen Grant, and Jamie Mack, wherever they are. They work very closely with UGA to make sure that we have a very rigorous program for our professionals, and I really thank them for all their hard work. So in closing, I just want to say that it is the journey in addition to the destination that makes life interesting. So to all of the graduates, I say much success and congratulations again. We're going to have greetings from the CEO's office. We have Meredith Lilly. Meredith, would you come up? Just want to take a moment to introduce Meredith. Meredith is the CEO's Director of External Affairs, but Meredith is also more than that. Meredith is an attorney. She's an experienced community organizer and a sought-after campaign manager. Lilly started her political work in 2007 with the Obama for America campaign, where she served as a regional political director, managing multiple campaign offices in several states across the nation. In 2008, she received a presidential appointment from the White House, but we're now glad that she's working with our CEO, Michael Thurman, and serving the DeKalb County residents. Absolutely. So, Meredith.
Right. Thank you. I think that bio was longer than what I'm actually about to say. But on behalf of our CEO, Michael Thurman, he wants to say first, congratulations. But beyond that, he wanted me to make sure that we acknowledge our fantastic HR team. So if you work in HR in DeKalb County, please stand up so we can give you a round of applause. Don't be shy. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And as Ms. Ransom pointed out about servant leadership, I've always remembered this quote, and I see it on the bottom of several people's emails here in DeKalb, and it's, if serving is beneath you, then leadership is beyond you. And so we have to remember as managers, as executives, that when we're serving our team, serving is loving one another. Serving is knowing your staff and being kind to your staff. Serving is making sure that your staff has the resources that they need. So I think we're in good hands because since I've been here, everybody has been serving our office and treating our office with dignity and respect. So continue to do that with each other, with your employees, and continue making DeKalb great. So thank you so much.
So we're going to take this time now just to have a little word of prayer over this time and ceremony. And please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for this day that you've given us. It's a gift of life and life more abundantly. So we ask you that you would be in the midst of these tables, of this atmosphere. Lord, we ask you, God, that you cause the ones that aspire to be managers, continue to have them aspire to be more. And the ones that are already emerging into that management executive position, you already just slide them on, make that transition smoothly. So at this time, Lord, we just thank you, Lord, for another opportunity, Lord, to come into this place that we've been chosen to be those next individuals that pick up the torch and carry it on. So at this time, Lord, I'd like to even just pray for what's next to come for each and every one in this room. So we pray for the food that we're about to receive. We ask you to bless the hands that have prepared it. And we give you all the honor and all the praise. In your Son's name, amen.
Good afternoon, everybody. Wow. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marci Campbell, and I'm with the University of Georgia's Institute of Government. And I have had the pleasure of working with the HR department here in DeKalb. To name a few, but probably not everyone that I've worked with, but Benita and Fabienne and Ashley and Karen and Jamie, if I left your name out, in HR, and we've worked together this year. My apologies, but thank you for the opportunity. We have had a really good partnership with DeKalb County, and we hope that will continue for a very long time. I do want to introduce another one of my, co-teacher for the Bright Futures program, who's with us, one of my colleagues, Nancy Farage. So if you'll Raise your hand. Thank you for coming, Nancy. I appreciate it. So just to give you a little overview of the Bright Futures program, in case you have not participated in it before, I wanted to let you know that we met 10 times over this year, and we talked about a lot of different things. We did the Myers-Briggs type indicator, so now it all makes sense of why you do what you do, okay, and why you do it. We talked about leading change. We talked about communication, team building, how to appraise performance, creating a positive work environment, and various other leadership development skills. One thing that we added this year that I think was helpful was we really focused on customer service. Through our online learning system, the participants read a number of articles and then discussed those articles online to further the discussion of in between our classes. And those were focused on customer service and servant leadership for our last one. And I hope that the participants felt that to be helpful to them. Today, I've heard several people come up to me and say, the program was so good, thank you so much. We learned so much. And I do appreciate those kind words. But really the appreciation is for the participants. Because the participants, they brought it every single time we met. They brought great questions. They brought their perspectives. They brought great conversations. And so really doesn't, I shouldn't say this perhaps, but it doesn't matter what I did. I mean, to some degree, I guess. But they really participated, and they were willing to stretch and have some uncomfortable conversations sometimes, and that's okay, and we're better for it. So my appreciation is for the participants in the class who were involved and who engaged and who wanted to be there, and I appreciate that very much. So I have a couple of challenges for the participants of the class. First is to be engaged in your work and in your life. And be engaged by actively listening and asking thoughtful questions. Be engaged, be there, and really participate in whatever's going around, and learn as much as you can by asking questions and listening. Now, when I was a little girl, and pardon me if some of you have heard this already, but when I was a little girl, sometimes I would be nosy, and my mama would say, Marci, you need to just worry about your own little red wagon, which means mind your own business. And I never really thought about that too much as an adult until I read Jim Collins's book, Good to Great, and the Public Sectors. And he talks about building pockets of greatness. And I think somehow he copied me or my mother, but that's neither here nor there. But his point was that we can't control everything. We don't have the power and to control things and to change things, and not to be frustrated about it, but to look at what we can control and what we can change. And if we focus on that, then, and we can make that as great as it can be, then way to go. And the hope is that other people will see that and will want to join you and build their own pocket of greatness. Now, I call that a little red wagon. So I say, make your little red wagon as great as it can be, and others will hopefully want to hitch onto it. I'm sure there's a better analogy for that with the red wagon, but make your little red wagon as great as it can be. And third, I want you to continue to connect with each other. Keep building the network that you created this year. And that means talking to each other, meeting together, talk about ideas, work together, because that is so important to build that network and have that support group, if you will. One of the biggest parts of our course was a team project. And boy, did we have some good team projects. I'm very impressed with all the team projects. Those were presented last week or week before last, and it's hard to remember. But we're going to have, there was one that was voted on to be discussed today. Denise Kenner is going to talk about that. I forgot. But before that, we're going to hear from each track. Emerging executives and aspiring managers have a representative that's going to give a recap of the class. And so I'm going to introduce both of those people now, and if they'll come up. So we have Terrie de Freitas and we have Diamond Miller Lewis are going to each talk about their track. So let's give them a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. Let me just kind of adjust that. It's hard being 5'2" at times. Before I get started, I was just wondering by chance if I can get all the aspiring managers from our class of 2018 to stand up for a moment, please. I wanted you guys to take a quick look around and actually look at all the support and love in the room. So why don't you take an opportunity and give a round of applause to the people who came here to support you today. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Investigator Terrie de Freitas, and I work with the DeKalb County Office of the Solicitor General. I am honored and grateful for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the 2018 Aspiring Managers Class of Bright Futures Leadership Development Program in conjunction with the University of Georgia. As we reflect on the 10 months that our team of 19 had an opportunity to learn, discuss, share thoughts, concerns, and grow from our experience during this program, I could not help but to observe and to think we were in the process of putting together not just an orchestra of future managers, but the DeKalb County Orchestra of Bright Future Leadership Managers. Just like an orchestra that is organized with their musicians to create and perform a collective of music, our version consists of our colleagues that stem from some of the 45 departments. The aspiring managers consisted of representatives from code enforcement, library services, geographic information services, known as GIS, juvenile probation, parks and recreation, policy, risk management, roads and drainage, sheriff's office, state court, superior court, planning and sustainability, watershed management, and WorkSource DeKalb. As you can see, we were allowed a wonderful opportunity and gift to learn and fine-tune our skills to a harmonic sound by including imparting departmental knowledge, team building, professional growth, alongside leadership theories and skills development to help support us in providing the best service to our citizens. Also, this program gave us a better understanding of how to maintain the tempo and consistency alongside handling the various ranges, very similar to what a musicians call the metronome. And for anyone that's not familiar with the metronome, if you've ever played piano or had worked on a violin, it's that little box that just ticks to that tempo. You can actually increase it or decrease it. And of course, that's by Webster's Dictionary for Kids. Very similar to managers and leaders that have to take in all the facts and concerns and make the best decisions for their team. Also to obtain the best ideas and resolutions for the citizens of DeKalb County. Our version of the metronome we have learned and is very, very dear to us all by now is the DeKalb County Statement of Vision, which is to build a new consensus for a better DeKalb County. We stand ready. Moreover, the friendships, network, and connections that were made in our program, we cannot put into words the effect on how a network of professionals can move an idea, a company, or a government forward to make a finished product occur. As mentioned by Charlene Gross, the network of people we know now gives us more confidence in connecting to DeKalb County. Lastly, I wanted to leave with a question mentioned by Robert Greenleaf via R. Vecchio's leadership, understanding the dynamics of power and influence in organizations. Servant and leader, can these two roles be fused in one real person in all levels of status and calling? We collectively say yes. It can be done. It's now a question on how we're going to make our mark in the world to embrace our bright futures while also paving the way and igniting the next generation of bright future leaders while serving the internal and external customers of DeKalb County. This is just the beginning and not the end, and we look forward to playing a beautiful sound as we make our individual and collective contributions to the wonderful world of music as a whole we will make in DeKalb County. Thank you.
Sorry, I think I was supposed to stand up here while you gave that wonderful speech, but these heels wouldn't allow me to do it. So, but beautiful speech, Terry. And I'm going to copy her. If I can have everyone from the Emerging Executives track to please stand. I have to say that I salute each of you, and I'm so humbled and honored to have been a classmate of you all, and I look forward to building upon the relationships that we created together over the rest of my life. And like I said to you earlier, when I call, answer the phone. You better answer. Okay, so good afternoon. I'm Diamond Lewis, Director of DeKalb County Television, and a proud member of the 2018 Emerging Executives class. When we started talking about actually graduating from this life-changing program called Bright Futures, an immediate thought was, well, what does being a better leader actually look like? What does that mean? A favorite author of mine, John C. Maxwell, wrote, "A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." The Emerging Executives program is committed to encouraging, inspiring, and empowering others. It's our job to inspire this type of infectious drive throughout our offices and beyond. We all signed up for this program, certainly for our own professional development, but actually gained so much more, and that it has empowered us to be the very change agents needed to take each of our respective divisions and departments to the next level of service, and that service to the people of DeKalb County and our collective staff members. Over the course of this program, 10 months, we've learned about public sector leadership, strategic planning, effective communication, and so much more. And we even learned, as you saw earlier in the slideshow, how to completely flip over one tarp while an entire group of people were standing on top of it. That demonstrated the importance of team building and work, and also leaving no one behind in that process. The site tours we experienced were invaluable, and we observed and enhanced our knowledge about departmental and collaborative operations. We learned about each other's departmental missions, goals, resources, and priorities, as well as about each other's challenges, successes, and those little-known facts that people would be surprised to learn about us individually. And remember, you guys, what happens at Bright Futures stays at Bright Futures. With each article and discussion assignment, every masterpiece carefully built of those Lego blocks, some of you all really are artists, and yes, my fellow classmates, with each and every Jason's Deli sandwich and crispy pickle, we bonded, as you can see through swapping unwanted items, and I still want to know who keeps getting that white chocolate macadamia nut cookie. I still haven't found it. But we grew closer to one another and closer to a collective mission of breaking silos while accomplishing our very own professional development. But also, we created an unspoken bond of professional relationships that will undoubtedly serve us all a lifetime. All of these experiences have created a deeper, inherent knowledge of what being a successful leader truly looks like within our organization here in DeKalb County. We're often asked, why public service? Why not work in the private sector? Well, my answer is always simple, and it's always the same. I simply fell in love with the people, the stories, and the dedication, which are the very fabric of the way of life here in our beloved DeKalb County. Our class discussions indicated our services and programs here in DeKalb are certainly second to none, but our greatest assets in this county are the people of this county. Bright Futures classmates, I submit to you today that leadership is not about titles. Instead, it's about offering your very best and inspiring all those around you to do the same. Like the proverbial swan beautifully and gracefully floating up above the water, we are all truly paddling hard underneath the surface, together, toward that same goal. And through this program, the support of our administration, our elected officials, and all of our classmates here, we too have an incredible current supporting us each and every day to keep us afloat. So, the Bright Futures class of 2018, stand ready to ride that wave and to support the CEO's strategic priorities and vision. Together, we will succeed, and all of DeKalb County will be better because of it. And that, my friends, is success. That is true leadership. John Quincy Adams once said, if your action inspires others to dream more, to learn more, do more, become more, then you are a leader. Bright Futures, we have to constantly cheer each other on each and every day. We are the emerging executives, the 2018 class, and given the current climate, I have to say that collectively, we approve this message. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that wonderful lunch. My name is Denise Kenner, and I want to share with you my teammates, Angelo Hubbard, Antoinette Lewis, Diamond Lewis, and Orthelus T. Perdue. We would like to discuss with you SAP Concur, which is a travel expense management program. Let me give you a few factors or some background. There are at least 6,000 DeKalb County employees. At least 2,000 of those employees go on company or county trips. It takes 30 days to get a travel advance, and we kind of missed out on those discounts, and we get frustrated. Now, once you return, you are supposed to reconcile within 7 days. We lose receipts, receipts are torn, we don't even get the receipts. And the bad thing about it all is sometimes people don't even reconcile at all. That's a huge problem for DeKalb County. Now I have some breaking news for you.
Hi, I'm Diamond Lewis. We interrupt your regularly scheduled Bright Futures Leadership Presentations program with this urgent, well, let's say effective and efficient process improvement measure. The 2018 Bright Futures Leadership Group, Team Elite, introduces you to SAP Concur, bringing the efficiencies of digital automation to the tedious, time-consuming process of approving, tracking, and reconciling countywide travel expenses. Let's take a look. Here we have a longtime DeKalb County employee, T. Perdue, preparing to travel for official county business. T has likely had to book his flight while waiting on approval for his travel. That means his flight costs more money to the county due to an antiquated process. He may be ready to take flight to represent the county, but he better have some personal cash on hand. That's because the bulk of travel expenses incurred on this trip will have to be paid first by T, the employee. From flying, to renting a car, to hotel accommodations, Poor T. Perdue must keep up with all his paper receipts, pay for those expenses out of his own pocket, and hope to be reimbursed for legitimate county business. Now, a quick programming note. Please know that T doesn't usually travel private. That was solely a reenactment for the purpose of this incredibly awesome presentation, if I might say so myself. Now, back to business. We join T as he returns back to the office. After a grueling work trip, he's ready to submit his receipts he's done such a great job with keeping up with, so that his office's travel coordinator can review and submit those receipts for reimbursement. And action.
Good morning.
I'm here to return my reimbursement receipts from a great trip that I had for the county.
Have a seat. I hope they're in order this time.
Yes, ma'am. I tried to keep them in best order as I could.
Quick trip, I suppose you needed some gas. Not approved.
But Miss Denise, I use my personal money for county business.
And I don't care. Rejected.
A valued employee now questions if he will be willing to travel for the county again. This isn't necessarily looking good. Indeed, after no less than 30 days, often many more, T elects to pick up a live check to ensure all his receipts were accounted for and that he is reimbursed for the full amount he spent out of his own pocket for county travel. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your seats. This is getting good.
How you doing, sir?
All right, how are you?
I'm here to pick up a check. Sure has taken y'all a long time to get it, though.
Don't blame me, blame the process.
Can I have my check, sir?
Here's your check right here.
It's all?
You should have been approved in advance, sir.
Sir, this process is just ridiculous.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Now, let's take a look at how much easier this process would have been for all impacted parties in the county with the introduction of automation. A reassured, confident T. Perdue is now at the airport and ready and focused on his work, not his expenses. Not any of the expenses, because they have all been pre-approved. He simply scans and automatically submits his receipts for car rental and hotel accommodations on his phone with ease. Should he need to request an additional expense, he doesn't have to gamble with whether or not he'll be reimbursed. He simply inputs the request on his phone, and his manager, who actually approves the critical expenditure, sees it and approves it before he even proceeds. It's not magic, people. It's automation. Don't believe me? Just watch.
Oh, this is T. He's at a conference in New Orleans and is requesting an increase on per diem. Oh yeah, the food in New Orleans is a little more expensive. Approved.
Even employee relations are improved as all parties are no longer bogged down in wrinkled receipts and tedious paperwork, and all expenses are pre-approved just like that.
Come in.
Good morning, Miss Denise.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm fine. I just got back from my county conference. I just want to make sure that you got all my information.
Let's check. Everything's approved.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. You have a blessed day.
You as well.
Thank you.
And that, my friends, is the beauty of automation, efficiency, confidence, the streamlining of an entire process, and transparency. This, my friends, is the future of the way DeKalb County employees may travel. Reporting for Team Elite from the Process Improvement Headquarters Studios, I'm Diamond Lewis.
SAP Concur is a management system where you can reconcile travel expenses. So instead of losing those receipts, you can take a picture with your phone. You can have your supervisor or director approve, let's say you needed more money, versus having to call. And you know, sometimes our directors are very busy and we can't get them on the phone and we're standing at the hotel saying, what's gonna happen, what's gonna happen? I don't have the money on my credit card. Now, there are other travel management solutions such as TravelPert, Certified, and Deem. We chose SAP because some of the other municipalities use this particular program. Gwinnett County uses it, the city of Atlanta, Fulton County, the state of Georgia, Equifax, and the Department of Health and Human Services. What we're really trying to say is, if we use this program or a program like it, it will help control spending, increase compliance, stop bad spending decisions, streamline the entire travel process, because when we use our own money or submit for mileage, we want it back right then, right there. Not 30 days. Simplify the accounts payable process. Also, this program is customizable and will work with Oracle, which is a program that we already use in DeKalb County. The program will provide transparency to citizens of DeKalb County, and that's all they want, is transparency. Well, thank you for listening to our presentation.
Good afternoon. I'm Sharyn Belisle, and I am representing the Inspiring Managers.
I'm Orthelus T. Perdue, and I'm a part of the Emerging Executives.
And we are charged with, as a tradition, Bright Futures is asked to sow a seed into the community. We have been sowed into from this great program. We learned so much, we've built friendships, and we want to give back into our community. So as a majority vote, we chose our house. And at this time, I would ask Ms. Brooks to come up so that we can present you. As Ms. Brooks comes up, we want to ask all of you to think about your community, to put back into your community. This donation that we're going to give to our house is our personal donation to this organization.
Hi, everybody. My name is Erin Brooks. I'm the Grants and Communications Manager for our house. We have been serving DeKalb County residents and residents of Georgia for 30 years. We serve families experiencing homelessness with 4 programs: early childhood education, an emergency shelter, a job training program, and family advocates that provide wraparound support services. So on behalf of our house staff and board and the nearly 500 adults and children we will serve this year, thank you very much.
So on behalf of Bright Future Leaders graduating class of 2018, we present you with this token.
Thank you.
Okay, for you all who don't know me, my name is Ashley Swan, and I'm one of the newest members to the HR department. I've had the pleasure of working with the Bright Futures Leadership Development Group for about 3 months now, and it is my honor to get to know and work alongside such exceptional individuals. So here we go. Let's announce the 2018 Aspiring Managers. Sharyn Belisle. Douglas Chandler Jr. Terrie de Freitas. Hassiola Dempsey. Jamila Dewitt. Deronda Hayes Johnson. Charlene Gross. Angelo Hubbard Sr. Denise Kenner. Antoinette Lewis. Oh, you guys, I want to recognize our beautiful Zachary Williams and Dr. Marci Porter Campbell. Alana Maddox. John Manson IV. Mary Zuribe couldn't be with us today, so Marvin Phillips will be accepting on her behalf. Latasha Rousseau. Gerald Sermons. Tavares Stokes. Larry Washington. Jayshawn Williams. Tremanda Williams. Now we will recognize the emerging executives. Monica Allen. Troy Augustin. He couldn't be with us today, so we have Master Firefighter Adrian Ziad. Michelle Butler. She couldn't be with us today either, so Cathryn Horner is accepting on her behalf. Demetria Shameless Allen. Jacqueline Willis Fuller. Catherine Furlong. Adrian Hairston. Cedric Hudson. Rhonda Joyner. Trincian Linda Lee. John Mann Jr. Emmanuel McCowan III. Diamond Miller Lewis. You did. Orthelus T. Perdue. Mavita Richards. Vincent Robinson. Inez Shepherd. Michelle Thorns. And last but not least, Francis Weaver.
Let's give our graduates a round of applause. You know, after they spend 10 months in the training room, we cannot let their experience end there. We like to take pride in what we do beyond the classroom following their experience in the Bright Futures Leadership Development Program. So we offer them the opportunity to participate in the mentoring program. And what they do, or what we do to help them, is to pair them up with someone that's experienced and seasoned in their field or in some other area where they want to grow, not necessarily sometimes in their field, but to hone in on their management skills and leadership skills to take them to the next level. So we make every effort and we present them an opportunity to work with someone internal among our senior managers or external managers, where we go outside within the community to find people that are in high-ranking positions and work within the community to make a difference. So that is one of the additional components of this program that we're so proud of and that we offer to our graduates. So we want to hear from our 2017 class that had a positive experience. Each time I passed each of them in the building, in the Maloof building, they always talked about how they enjoyed interacting with each other and being a part of each other's lives and making a new friendship or professional relationship friendship to make sure they're each holding each other accountable. So the Bright Futures participant that participated in the mentoring program that we have invited with us today is Ms. Cathryn Horner, and she is a manager within the purchasing and contract department. So I'm going to ask Cathryn to come up and share her experience in her role as a mentee. She had the pleasure of working alongside Phillips, who is now our new Deputy County Attorney. So he will be joining her here at the podium to share his experience as a mentor in the program. So let's welcome both of them to the podium.
Hi, so about a year ago, I was sitting where you are sitting now, and I found out that Terrie would be my mentor. I was excited about that. I'd known Terrie for about 13 years. Knew that he was exceptionally good at his job. We had an opportunity to meet, discuss, and the mentor-mentee relationship went really well. I was very happy with the experience. What I'd like to share with you is when you leave this room today, start thinking about what you want out of it. What are your ideas? What are your goals? What do you want to achieve out of this relationship? Then you need to discuss that with your mentor. You need to ask questions. You need to actively listen. You need to be flexible. Sometimes what you think your journey is may not be a straight path. It might take a few detours. I know mine did. We started out with my professional goals, and then through some very deep and honest self-reflection, I figured out I had some personal goals that I needed to address also. So we took care of that. By the time it was finished, I had actually achieved professionally and personally my goals out of this program. I enjoyed the path we took, and I enjoyed getting to know Terrie a little bit better, because I found out not only is he an exceptional attorney, he's an exceptional person.
The assessment should be made by the person who was mentored. and you've heard Cathryn's assessment of her experience. I started the process by interviewing her. I didn't warn her that she'd be interviewed. I asked for a time when we could sit and speak, and I interviewed her to find out what her goals were. And I catered what I shared to what she said she wanted as a goal. She says we deviated and we turned to some personal things because I tried to invest in her as a person. All leaders should invest in the person. A litmus test will be, are you consumed with what the person does or doesn't do? Or are you focusing on who they will become? You should invest in them so that you raise the person to be a better person. Clearly, you'll have a better professional. Cathryn did all of the work. I made myself available to share. The test for me was to make sure it wasn't just information. You know things, you read things, you experience things, and then you tell someone else about it. That's the easy part. Wisdom is when you exercise it and model it for them, so I tried to do that as well. Hopefully we both grew. Hopefully DeKalb will have 2 better employees and the world will have 2 better people. Thank you.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask all of the mentors who served for us in 2017 to stand. If you were a mentor in our 2017 program, would you please stand now? Thank you so very much for your commitment. So as we get ready to present to you the graduates of 2018 class, your mentors, we want you to really take in mind and consider that last conversation we had, that this is a 3 to 6 month commitment. Some relationships will last longer than 6 months, but it's all about what you put into it. It's what you're going to get out of it. And so who's going to make that first step? Who? Okay, the graduates. So we're holding you all accountable for that. So thank you again for those that volunteered to participate. This was a voluntary part of the program as well. It was not mandatory. So for those 26 people out of the 38 graduates that said yes, we commend you for taking the next step to be mentored and for your professional growth to continue. So let's see who our 2018 mentors are. So as I call your name, I would like the mentee and the mentor to stand so you can at least give each other the eye so you'll know who you are. But if your mentor is not here today, do not take that as a slight. They are very committed to the process and to the program. They just had other commitments and could not join us. But you have the contact information that was provided to you in your envelope. So please do take time to open that, read it, and you have contact information to call them and email them. For all of the mentors that are here present, before you leave at the welcome table, we have an envelope with your mentees' information in it. So please do stop by the welcome table to get that information as you leave the room. So the first person is Michelle Thorns. Could you please stand as I call your name, and you can be seated after you see your mentor if they're here. We have matched you with Talisa Clark, who's here today. She's our Director, Department Head of Purchasing and Financing. John Manson, Management Analyst for the Board of Commissioners. We have matched you with Stacy Greer, who is our Director of GIS. Rhonda Joyner, GIS Analyst. We have matched you, and your mentor could not be here today. Dolores Corwell, she serves as our Intergovernmental Affairs Manager for the county, and she's happy to work with you this year. So congratulations. Antoinette Lewis, Project Coordinator, Watershed. We have matched you with Librarian Director Allison Weisinger. Is Allison here? I saw her earlier. Oh, there she is. Hasi Ola Dempsey. We have matched you with Teresa Totten. She's the Administrative Branch Manager for the Library Department. Denise Kenner, Worksource Analyst. We have matched you with the beautiful Zachary Williams. Chief Operating Officer. You're never going to live that one down, Zach. So every time I see you, I'm going to say beautiful, okay? John Mann, Coordinator, Watershed. We have matched you with Robert Gordon, who is the Director of Fleet Management, and he could not be here today. Sharyn Belisle, Judicial Assistant with Judge Adams' office. We matched you with a wonderful person, Linda Gildersleeve. She's an HR manager within our Human Resources Department of Policy and Strategic Planning. Okay. Demetria Allen, Traffic Engineer. We have matched you with Preston Stevens, who is our Deputy Director of Finance. Inez Shepard, Library Principal. We have matched you with Luz Barrero, and I don't think Luz is here today. Okay, so congratulations. Wonderful mentor. Michelle Butler, who could not be here today, she's an emerging executive. She's also away participating in another leadership program, so we're proud of Michelle. She's procurement manager for finance, purchasing and contract, and her mentor is Terry Gordon, who is an attorney for our legal department here in DeKalb. Cedric Hudson, planning administrator. Your mentor is Ms. Rylan McClendon. Rylan is one of our external mentors. She's the former GM, General Manager at MARTA, and she also served in the past as a chairperson for the MARTA board. She's also a planner, so you all do have a lot in common. Catherine Furlong, HR Manager for our HRIS division. We have matched you with John Matowski, who is our Director of Innovation and Technology. Emmanuel McCowan, Sergeant for the Police Department. We have matched you with John Quigley. He's a major at the Atlanta Police Department with over 20 years of experience, so you got an external one. He could not be here today, but he's looking forward to working with you. Thank you. J. Sean Williams, Youth Services Coordinator. We have matched you with Victor Roberts. He is the Assistant Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Juvenile Justice, and he could not be here with you today, but he's looking forward to meeting you. Terrie de Freitas, Investigator. Your mentor left earlier. He was here, Chief Darnell Fulham, for our fire department, so he's looking forward to partnering with you. Trancian Lee. We have matched you with, she's a senior engineer for Watershed, and we have matched you with Doug Hooker, who is serving as the Executive Director of the Atlanta Regional Commission. Very excited, very enthused about working alongside you. So you got what you asked for, so we're proud of you, so thanks. Tavares Stokes, Engineering Technician. We have matched you with Larry Jacobs, who is our Assistant Deputy Director in Finance over Risk Management. Marvita Richards, Senior Librarian. Your mentor is Andrew Baker, who is our Director of Planning and Sustainability. And I think he had to leave. He was here earlier, but he had to leave. Troy Augustine, but he's not here. He's away at another leadership program. He's fire captain, and we have matched him with another external mentor, Joel Baker, who is currently he just recently been appointed to be the fire chief in Austin, Texas, but we'll be working closely with him in a long-distance relationship, and he was very enthused to work alongside with Troy Augustine. He was also the former police chief for the city of Atlanta, so bring years and years of experience, so they would be a great match for each other. Latasha Russo, Juvenile Probation Officer. We have matched you with Willie Hopkins, who is the Chief Probation Officer for the state court, and he could not be here today, but he looks forward to meeting you. T, he only goes by T. Orthelus Perdue, he's the CMOM coordinator for Watershed. And we have matched you with Mario Evans, who is the director at the Peachtree Airport. You're welcome. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Well, you have to be up for the challenge. Now, we just saw you at the airport on this breaking news. Last but not least, Monica Allen, Risk Management Manager. We have matched you with Peggy Allen, Interim Director for Roads and Drainage. So congratulations to all of the mentees and mentors that have been matched here today. Mentors, don't forget to stop by the welcome table to pick up your envelope so you'll have contact information. I'm so proud of all of you all that have graduated here and completed the program. We know there were some challenging moments. You all bonded through those challenging moments, but learned a lot and grew a lot. So I'm proud of all of you. So congratulations. So now we have the beautiful COO, Chief Operating Officer, that would come and bring our closing remarks. Thank you for being here with us, Zach. We appreciate for all the support that you give to this program. Thank you.
And thank you for the work you've done. Fabienne and Benita and the whole HR team has done another outstanding job. And it's interesting because I've been doing this almost 30 years, and I've been referred to and called a lot of things, but today, beautiful, I'm going to add that to the list because I promise you I don't get called beautiful very often. There's probably a lot of other stuff I don't get called to my face. So, yeah, I have the honor, once again, of coming up and giving closing remarks, and I'm thinking, you know, what profound things can I say? What can I do to inspire a group of folks who are obviously already inspired, or else you wouldn't be here, right? So what can I say? What can I add to it? I talk to folks, you know, quite often about the business or, you know, maybe a path I took to achieve, you know, the success as we deem it in this business. And they say, what books would you read and all that stuff? And you know what? And I'm a simple guy. Anyone who knows me can attest, right, John? I'm pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And so the advice I would give everyone, besides my always show up, work hard, tell the truth, right? That's foundational, and it ain't easy for everybody, right? A lot of folks just can't show up because I'm tired, right? Or when they show up, they really show up and chit-chat. They can't work hard, or they won't work hard. Or when the chips are down and there's a little bit of pressure on, they go look for what's the easy out? What can I say to get myself out of this situation? Because Lord knows I don't want to tell the truth. Don't fall into that, right? So those foundational things, just let's start with show up, work hard, and tell the truth. And care. Care. Care about your job, care about your work. Recognize that what you do day in and day out not only represents you, it represents your fellow employees, but probably more importantly, it represents folks who came before you. And I promise you, much of us wouldn't be sitting in these seats all dressed up and smelling good if folks didn't come before us, pave the way, okay? So when we're doing our jobs, we need to not only care about how we are reflecting on ourselves, but care about how we're reflecting on those who sacrifice so that we can be sitting here talking about this kind of stuff. And then care about the kids who are going to come after you, right? I had never heard of public management and stuff like that. And I'm a little knothead kid born in Compton, California, right? I never heard about that stuff. But then someone showed me that you can actually be a manager, you can be a CEO or COO of a governmental institution. Hell, I thought if I could be a deputy sheriff or work at the post office, right? And ain't nothing wrong with those jobs. But that was my exposure until someone showed me that there's actually more out there. So each of you sitting in these seats and myself has a responsibility that others know you can have an excellent career in service, right? In making the world a better place, and you can inspire someone to come behind you and take these positions and assume the torch or the baton and carry it a little bit further. But you gotta care. You gotta care enough to pave the way. You gotta care enough to hand off the baton. And you gotta care enough to never stop growing. Because you recognize that as things get more and more complicated, if you just stand still and say, well, I know everything, you know, I got the title, well, then you're not gonna move yourself forward, you're not gonna move the organization forward. And please, never, confuse title, and I think someone said it, or maybe Diamond said it as a quote, don't confuse the title with leadership. You can lead from wherever you are. And I hate to say it, but throughout my 30 years of this business, I've seen lots of folks with titles. We could probably all sit back and think of some that I don't know if leader equates to the title, right? So lead from wherever you are, bloom from where you're planted, as they say, okay? And so those are the types of things that I want everyone to try and do for themselves, right? Invest in yourself. And as you do that, look around in your various business units and say, how can we be a national model? Right? I didn't say the best in Atlanta. I didn't say the best in Georgia. How can we be a national model? So that if I'm thinking of GIS, or if I'm thinking of IT, or if I'm thinking of code enforcement, or planning, or human resources, or finance, or children's services, human services, parks, whatever. If I'm thinking of those things, what if I'm that little kid, not head kid, whether he's in Compton or Chicago or right here in Atlanta or DeKalb, what if I say, you know what, maybe someday I can be the parks director because DeKalb County has the best park system in the nation. Maybe one day I could be like Big States, not only, quarterback for Tennessee State, but I can also run the best GIS department in the nation. Why not inspire them? I think we owe it to them. And we owe it to those who paved the way for us to be here. So I want you guys to, just remember these little things. It ain't that deep, right? You just got to remember the foundational stuff, and you got to remember to care. And you got to remember that we owe it to folks who came before us, and part of that is doing our best while we're here and paving the way for those who come behind us. Talk a little bit about the program, that SAP Concur, good stuff. For those of you who decided to take that on, the fact is this time last year, we were getting killed, right? We had, Diane, 6,000, some unreconciled travel. It was just, something like 6,000. And we came in my office, we chatted a little bit, and we were able to get it cleaned up, but we never should have been in that position. And so as that represents, and I'm going to get to know more about each of your projects, but wherever you see a problem and you identify a solution, that's what it's about. Recognize that this is not the company or the organization for the sixth floor or for the department heads. This is all of ours. We are all owners and co-owners of this enterprise. And so we all have responsibility to identify and address issues. So I want to just thank you for stepping up, for agreeing to invest in yourself to make DeKalb County a better place. Because I promise you, DeKalb County is on the rise. Thank you and God bless.